Welcome, everybody, to the next episode of Chiefs Focus First and 10 on a great playoff weekend, at least for the Chiefs. We got Caleb. We got Thiz. What's up, guys?
Good, man. Doing good.
What's going on? It's a good day. Good night, actually.
Very
Yes,
good
sir,
night.
it is. Yes,
Very
it
good
is.
night.
What a
Very good
game.
night. What a game. You know, we had a spaces earlier, and I said some stuff, and I meant it, and it's true. But it was proven again tonight, and now everybody's kind of picking up on it after we've been talking about it for 8 straight weeks. Bieniemy started calling those plays at the beginning of the game, and we're the highest scoring team on the first series of any team in the NFL. And this game here, we couldn't even get anywhere.
Anything on the first four possessions.
Yeah,
turnovers.
3-4
I mean, it was terrible.
Yeah, and I know I asked what the hell was going on, and Pat went up and had a conversation, and then Andy took over the play calls. And from that point on, things changed. I know why they're doing it. I get it to a degree, and I know why they did it tonight, especially. I don't think it's going to go any further than tonight because of who we're playing next. But you got to showcase if you want to move on. And they tried to showcase. It didn't work out for them. The NFL already knows what's going on anyway. So I mean,
Andy needs to be the only person calling the play calls.
Yeah, definitely.
From now on forward, definitely. He has to be the only person, because you saw when Bieniemy was calling calls at the beginning, and everyone on Twitter was saying that was not good at all. No. Very struggling. They were struggling like nobody's business. And then you see Andy take over. A lightning of explosion. We scored 42 points. I mean, it was a great day. It was a great day to see that.
Hey, Mahomes is one of 3 quarterbacks in history to score 5 touchdowns in a playoff game.
Okay, that's pretty good.
1 of 3.
That is good. That is very good.
That's absolutely amazing.
What's that? It could have been 6.
What?
It could have been 6.
It could have been 6. Yeah, it could have been 6. Yeah.
Kelsey had to get his thing in there, but hey, I mean, like, it is what it is.
Yeah. But look, he's not broken. So for anybody else that wants to think he's broken, you're the only thing that was broken was play calls. And
this game proved it.
And this
when
game,
you call the right play calls, play to your strengths, you're gonna have a good spot. But I got a question for you guys. Is Jerick McKinnon our next Damian Williams?
I believe so.
He is running. Go ahead, this. Go ahead.
I mean, I want to say that. I just don't want to crown. I just don't want to be premature and be a prisoner of the moment. But the dude has been everything. He's done everything and been exactly what we wanted CEH to be. And this is not a shot at CEH. It's just like he's seeing holes and he's like busting through them with no problem. He gets through there and explodes through them. Not just laissez-faire, just walk through them. He explodes through them.
Yeah,
and true. So I don't want to. Jerick McKinnon is fresh though. He's fresh right now, and people don't even know how to defend him. So they do, but they don't remember, because a lot of these coaches have coached against him. But I don't want to be a prisoner of the moment. But he looks so good out there right now.
He looked good before, though, man. That's the difference. You know, every time he's been on the field, he's played good. Well, I mean, don't you think, Caleb? Every time he's been on the field. I
agree with you. I think he has what we've seen, especially for McKinnon. He is kind of everything the Chiefs need in a running back. Like Darrell Wills is our bruiser, but McKinnon is kind of like, looks like he's the all-around guy who's going to hit the hole. He can catch out of the backfield. He's kind of like, I'm not saying he's Kareem Hunt, but he's like has the same ability when it comes to vision and knowing when to hit the hole. Yeah. And CH is good, but the issue we see with CH is he's constantly hurt, and we're just not seeing the progression. And obviously McKinnon has been in the league a little bit more, but moving forward, I mean, when it comes to CH, Darrell Williams, and then also McKinnon, if McKinnon is still here next season, they're going to have to do a running back comeback, like JP saying, or they're going to have to sprinkle them in at different times for certain play calls. So maybe CH will be better at the screens than others. Maybe McKinnon and Darrell can be those guys at the short yard situation. So there's many different things. But hats off to DeMarcus Robinson McCole, Hardman,
Thank you.
and Pringle. I mean, I thought Marcus Robinson was going to run backwards, and this man showed up. I was very surprised. He came out and played, but he needs a hole in the paint with two balls. He needs a hole in the ball with two hands. He keeps running around with
like
one hand like a loaf of bread. I'm like, bro, hold the ball. But he didn't fumble, thank God. But other than that, man, I mean, that was crazy.
Switches hands pretty fast, and that's
he can't do that though. In my opinion,
I know he feels it coming and he tucks it, but you know,
he needs
somebody else used to do that too. You know,
who?
Shady McCoy.
That's true.
Shady was a loaf of bread guy, and there's a lot of guys that do it, but you got to have a lot of hand strength to be able to hold on to that ball.
Yeah, and he has big hands. I'll give him that. He has big hands, but we don't need a fumble. The Chiefs do not need a fumble pulling it down into that time. So
no.
I mean,
no. But you know, he is Kareem Hunt-ish. I will say that McKinnon is. You know, it's funny because I look at Derek Gore and I look at McKinnon and I see both of them having Kareem Hunt tendencies in different ways. The problem with CEH is that he's not explosive to a degree that when he sees that hole, he doesn't hit it quick enough. His bursts aren't there. And when you look at McKinnon and even Derek, for that matter, even Darrell Williams, I mean, they're all more explosive. They hit the hole, they hit it hard, they run people over, they get skinny when they need to. The one thing that I noticed, and I've said this, and I was going to ask you guys about this, we absolutely suck at the screen pass.
No, we can still do it. It's just we're not just doing it effectively. Like we saw with McKinnon tonight, it worked pretty well. I don't think McKinnon it worked really well. I feel like tonight he allowed his blockers to get in front of it. I think we did it pretty well for the most part. Now with CEH, that's a different story. I feel like, but I mean, who knows?
I don't know, man. I don't like the way it seems like we get stopped a lot more than we gain when we run those little screen passes, and I don't really like it. I don't know.
Well, it's good on those misdirection screens. We do really good on those other ones. It's kind of like, yeah. What do you say? This? Go ahead.
My thing is that we did it so often that it's almost part of our DNA now, and defenses can sniff it out as quickly as they can.
Yeah,
because we'll go back to it eventually.
Okay, I see what he's saying.
I agree with him. He's right. I mean, it's. I guess we did do it a lot, and it worked for a while. But even the end around doesn't seem to work as well for us as it does for other teams.
Well, we really haven't been doing the end around. I'm kind of wondering when Andy's going to bust that play out again.
He tried it a couple times with Hardman this year, and one of them was
I think they're
successful.
saving that play for the right time. In my opinion, that's kind of what. Excuse me, that's what I'm seeing. But I mean, I could be wrong from that standpoint. But it's very possible.
Yeah. Well, that Travis Kelce touchdown was phenomenal, and so was Algoretti's.
That's true.
That was two phenomenal just trick plays that worked out well. You know, I know that they allowed Ben to get some extra yardage at the end of the game. They didn't want they wanted him to go out somewhat on a high note. That's why they kind of allowed that other touchdown. And Andy,
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Respectfully, you're playing going to playoffs. You kind of need to shut that down. You don't want to give any teams any hope. Maybe the Bills, and I just hopefully the Bills don't see anything that could expose the Chiefs. But we've seen in the past when it comes to like playing the Buccaneers last year in the playoff game, Andy allowed them to come back, and that kind of gave but
we were so far ahead at that confidence during this game.
But it still gave them confidence though, and it causes a struggle. That's from I'm seeing in my perspective. But I see where you're coming from. But it's kind of like you come into play. We know this is gonna be a last game. Either you're gonna beat us or we're not gonna give it to you. And I kind of feel like we kind of gave him that last touchdown. I didn't really like that, but I mean, it's kind of is what it is at the end of the day.
I mean,
I understand Andy's sportsmanship, but you kind of need to allow for your team to continue to bury them. And I think that's kind of what they were trying to do for the most part.
Well, and like I said, I mean, I understand you're up 42-14 or whatever it was. Yeah, 42-14. And you're at, the 4-minute mark in the fourth quarter. I saw Andy say, let him have it. I mean, I don't know if that was, and I wanted to ask, and I haven't had a chance to, but I saw him, I read his lips, and he said, let him have it. He went like that. And I'll tell you another thing. There was 3 times they panned over to Bieniemy, and he was looking Andy's direction, and he was talking to the mic.
Call.
And then they panned over to Andy, and Andy flat out went no. I mean, he said it 3
I didn't see
times.
that, but
I
that wouldn't
did,
surprise me.
and it was freaking phenomenal. I've seen him do that in other games over the last few weeks.
Would you say this?
That's interesting.
Yeah, he just flat out said no. And then there was one time he shrugged off the enemy. He shook his head, said no, and then he took his hand, if you could see my hand, and he waved it like that, like just end it. Don't ask again. And then the play worked out in fact, I think it was a touchdown, Mahomes to Kelsey. It was that one where he ran for like 69 yards.
Yeah, that was the crazy part. Mahomes was guns blazing out there tonight.
Kelsey looked
He was
good
doing
tonight
some
again.
next level stuff. Huh?
Oh, and he's the third. Kelsey, how about this? Kelsey is the only third technically wide receiver, I guess if you want to call it that, third player in NFL history to have multiple 1,000 or 100-yard games in a playoff game, and the other two are wide receivers.
Awesome.
So
he's also like the only receiver to have throw a pass, catch a pass for a touchdown, throw a pass for a touchdown, and there's one more stat as well. But Kelsey is still here. Kelsey hasn't gone anywhere.
Nope.
And yeah, he's not young anymore. He's not that nimble guy anymore. But tonight told us, and then of course this is on the backdrop of a few weeks ago where he had 100+ yards, dang near 200 yards. So this guy is generational.
Yeah,
for sure.
And it's very interesting to see what's going on with him and Mahomes. Now, I look forward to seeing how I want to focus real quick on that shovel pass.
Yeah.
I feel like defenses with the end arounds and the screen game, I feel like defenses know that that's in our repertoire, and they always try to sniff it out before we can get to it, before we can even call it. And so when we do call it, they can get it, or they can get in there and bust it up. But they haven't quite got on the shovel pass yet.
No.
And and I think it's time to let it rest. But hey, it keeps working, so why? But
it could cause a turnover though too. I've seen the Chiefs. There was one time when the Chiefs played against the Jets. They ran that shovel cast. Kelsey got lit up and it ended up being a turnover.
Yeah, I remember that. That was us.
No, that's the Giants.
Yeah,
it was the Giants.
And I think that was one of the times where I'm like, we got to kill the shovel pass for a while. Yeah. We don't have to get rid of it. We just need to relax on it a little bit.
Yeah, find a new play.
Even still, we saw it 2 or 3 times today. So it's still effective. Like the end around game that we had that we used all the time. Like I want to say it was probably 2 or 3. No, it was like 2019. It was the Super Bowl year.
Yeah,
we were doing that end around. It felt like once every more like 3 or 4 times every drive.
Yeah,
and we were getting somewhere at first because that was when Tyreek, no one could catch him.
Yeah,
but next thing I know, we kept doing it, and they were sniffing it out before we even did it. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, it's definitely time to kill this.
Yeah.
Tyreek made some moves tonight, though, didn't he?
He did.
Tyreek made some moves tonight, man.
He burned that guy, number 20 for the Steelers. He
really absolutely.
Man, he's still got every bit of his speed, and he's still just one of the most elusive, dangerous players in football. I think he is the most dangerous wide receiver in football.
What's made him even better is that he's now patient.
Yeah,
that's true.
He's not chomping at the bit to get downfield and be thrown to. He is now blocking better. He is now just running routes and being a decoy better.
Yeah.
He now, I don't know about him being in special teams, but there's so much that he benefits that benefits him from the lull that we had, that 5-game lull that we had. It has helped Mahomes be more patient. It has helped Kelsey. I mean, not Kelsey, because Kelsey's been pretty patient. It has helped Hill be more patient. And it's like
helped Robinson
learning when to take
Hardman as well.
Say what?
It helped Hardman as well.
I'm just looking at it, and it's helping you be like a defensive boxer. I don't know if anybody knows anything about boxing,
Yep.
but it helps you be more defensive instead of throwing punches all the time. Hey, stop swinging punch, stop wasting energy when you could be on the defense and wait for your shot.
Yeah.
And that's
Mike
what
Tyson.
I mean, that's what we've been seeing here. You don't have to always be on offense.
Yeah.
You can be on defense even while you're on offense. It's pretty cool, actually.
Oh, let me ask you guys something. I want to see if you guys noticed it. Did you see who started on defense tonight?
Thornhill?
Thornhill. Okay,
Yeah.
now let me ask you another question. Did you notice how well everybody else was blocking?
A lot better. A
Yes.
lot better. And that's how it needs to be moving forward.
Okay, now one more question. Did you notice let's see, second to the last drive, maybe third to the last drive Pittsburgh had? It might have even been the touchdown drive. I can't remember now. Did you notice Sorensen that was out there and couldn't hit?
Yeah, he had a missed tackle. I saw that.
He had three. He had three back
that's
to back
a
to
prime
back.
example of why he should not be starting.
Yeah, he had three.
I missed
back
the last, but I missed that very last play that you're talking about, JP. But yes, I did see where he was in there missing. I saw him miss at least one.
Yeah, he missed three tackles. One, he just got completely, embarrassed on. He actually had a hold of the guy, but the way he tackles sucks because, again, he reacts before he thinks. And the second one, he just got completely, he wasn't even near the guy. He threw himself into the middle of the nowhere. And then the third one, the guy drug him. He had the guy by his shoestring. So, it's like, come on, man. You can't.
It's just him being put in a bad position in the same way that Harbin was used today to be the guy the best version of himself.
Yep.
Spags isn't doing that with him. And I don't know if that's to give somebody a breather or what, but either way, having Sorensen can be a gift and a curse. The gift was what he brought you during that play against the Texans that one year, against whoever it was last year.
Yeah.
That's the gift. The curse is when you put him in there expecting him to do what a starter does, and he can't do that.
No.
That just exceeds his capabilities at that moment. And like you said, JP, he reacts. His body moves before his mind thinks sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's very true.
Like his wheels are turning so fast. Yeah, they're cool, but his body's already where it don't need to be,
Like the dude's on Adderall or something, man. It's like he just, it's just
that could be a gift and a curse in itself, because that's what got him that stop against the Texans in 2019-20 for that playoff run.
That's true.
That's what got him there.
Yeah, but did you notice where he was? Did you notice in that game where he was located on the field versus when he gets whiffed most of the time? That stop was 5 to 8 yards past the line of scrimmage, to where every other time when he's out in coverage, he gets burned. When he's deep downfield or, anything past 25, 30 yards, he gets burned.
It's not his position. He needs to be playing within 30, within 10 to 15 yards of where the ball is. He can't be 20, 30 yards downfield, because he'll be the Energizer Bunny and his legs will be going and his arms will be going, but his brain told him to stay back where he was.
Yeah. His brain's telling him to go left and his body's going right. And he just
next thing you got a 30-yard touchdown.
And it's not his fault.
No.
It's just not his best
position.
Nope, not his position at all. So, but the bright spot of this is that everybody on that defense played better. We didn't hear Tyrann Mathieu's name. In fact,
he held it down for the most part, I thought.
What's that?
he held it down. I thought
Oh,
for
he
the
held
most
it
part.
down really well.
He
but
wasn't
I mean,
happy towards the end because certain things didn't go his way, but I thought he did pretty good
Correct.
for the most part.
Yeah, he did a good job. I mean, you didn't hear his name a lot, but it is what it is. Mike Hughes, he's hit and miss.
Yes.
Ward had a hell of a game.
What should be done about Mike Hughes? I'm kind of curious. What are your guys' thoughts?
I don't know, man. I mean,
It's not gonna hurt you to keep him, especially with like there's some things that are left to be desired with Mike Hughes, but he serves a valid purpose.
yeah,
He's not like a Ben Neiman.
That's true.
Just to give an example of someone, he's not like a Ben Neiman. He does add legitimate value, especially when you got great safety help, in my opinion. You don't leave him on an island because he's not that. He's not that guy. You can leave what's our other cornerback's name? Our number one?
Ward?
Ward on. You can leave Ward on an island. He's not gonna be, like I said, he's not gonna be Revis Island, but he can hold his own. And
That's true.
If he can't against a guy like Jamar Chase, who is one of the best wide receivers, then you shade a safety over there.
exactly.
But he's not what Mike Hughes is not what Travarius Ward is. And Travarius has been in this defense for quite some time. So we can't expect the same thing from Hughes as we get from Ward.
No.
But Hughes can serve a purpose, especially in a pinch. But I'm surprised that Hughes is doing more than Baker is. I don't know what's up with that.
I kind of do, but it's stupid. It just needs to end at some point. It started at the beginning of the season.
Baker right about now.
Well, it started at the beginning of the season, and it was kind of a situation between him, not between him and Thornhill, but with him and Thornhill. And it had to do with a certain defensive coach that will probably not be here next year. It was like a high school game, to be honest with you, and it had nothing to do with Baker, and it really had nothing to do with Thornhill. It was more the coach.
They wanted to play their guys.
Yeah. And if anybody remembers when they had Thornhill out there, and Baker for that matter, practicing with the 3s and 4s during training camp, and then even
go ahead, JP. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay. Even after week 1 and 2, they were still 3. They were still doing the same thing, and it was just a situation that somebody. Well, it doesn't matter at this point. It's just.
I think I understand it for Baker because he's coming off that injury where he broke a bone in his knee. Thornhill, though, it's kind of like, really, this is a little of a bit of a joke.
It is a joke.
I can understand with Baker, but Thornhill is kind of like, bro, you can't be doing this no more. You need to let him start.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was going on these defensive coaches and Spags letting it happen. I don't know what was going on in their minds, but they're being proven wrong every time Thornhill makes a crucial play.
Yep.
I mean, no doubt about that.
But they were hitting like madmen tonight. And, by the way, on one of those missed tackles by Sorensen tonight, if it wasn't for Nick Bolton, that would have been a touchdown. Just so you guys know that. Nick Bolton stopped that play because he was there, again, making sure that Sorensen didn't screw up. And I watched that play, and I thought, oh, there was Nick. Thank God he was there. Because if he wasn't, that play would have went for 6. So
I want to ask you this. I was looking at Deontay. I think it's Deontay Johnson for the Steelers. And we're not in next season. But is he? I know at the beginning of the season he wanted to trade from the Steelers.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a thing or not.
Still is.
Huh?
Still is.
Well, I mean, it'd be nice for the Chiefs to take a look at him. Just a side note, we ain't got to talk about it. I know we need a receiver next year. I mean, we got guys. We need a receiver next year. And I don't think a rookie wide receiver will be advantageous for us in this season or next season. But that's just a side note. We don't got to elaborate on it. Just saying.
Yeah.
Well, I see where you're coming from, Thiz. I think it could be something the Chiefs may do in the future. Will they do it? I'm not really for sure, but I do agree with you, Thiz. They need to have another veteran wide receiver that can help next year. Maybe, hopefully, that can be Josh Gordon. I mean, tonight he was inactive. Darius Fountain got some snaps, and I see why they did that to let him get some playing time.
Right.
Maybe Gordon will be active next week, but we haven't really seen anything out of Gordon, so they're gonna have to find someone to help. Excuse me, my guys. Sorry about that. They need to find someone that's gonna help them moving forward because they need another receiver.
Well, I
Right.
think, to be honest with you, I'm still not going to give up on Josh because I know what happened to him at the beginning when he got here. And I think that with given time and the fact that, his body is in relatively excellent condition, he can play like a 24-year-old. And given time, he'll be a great player again. It's just when he got here, he was set back again. I know the frustration is probably bothering him, but he's also grateful and he feels blessed that he's with a team, especially a team like ours. So
that's the thing about wide receivers in the Andy Reid system. They don't just come in and just adapt to how he does things.
Oh, hell no.
There's no receiver. I can't remember a receiver besides maybe Terrell Owens. And Terrell Owens is a Hall of Famer. So there's nobody I can think of that can do it like that. But hey, if they bring him back next year, which they probably will,
yeah.
I expect more production for sure.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Give him a full season of training camp with the Chiefs and learn the playbook and really get the routes down, and he'll be a very, very valid part of our offense. Looking at Terrell Owens, like mentioning him, okay, look, that guy could go. At the time, he played for San Francisco. He played for Dallas. He played for the Eagles. The guy could go into any system because of his size, his strength, and his speed. He was able to go into any system and be able to produce because it was just one of those situations that it wasn't the fact that he was the smartest player on the field. He was the biggest and the fastest player. I mean, the guy was built so well. Even to this day, at 47 years old, he looks really damn good. Chad Johnson was one of those guys that could probably go into any system and produce to a degree because he was fast. He was elusive. He didn't let the ball hit the ground very often. He just had an ego. So did Chad. So did T.O. So the biggest thing that we have to always remember with our team is that no one has an ego. And
yeah,
for the most part, as we see, everybody that plays for our team, nobody has an ego. They know their role, and they know why they're there, and they do what they're supposed to do, and they don't bitch about it. They're not the DK Metcalfs of the world that throw a baby fit. They're not Terrell Owens. They're not a lot of guys that, it just is what it is. I love our football team. Yeah. I really do.
They're some beasts. They are some straight up beasts.
Absolute beasts, young guys that come in hungry, buy into the culture, buy into the system, learn the system, and then go out and kick everybody's ass with it. And I think, and you know what, the one thing that Al Michaels pointed out tonight that I was really, and actually I think as much as I can't stand to listen to Chris Collinsworth talk half the time because he contradicts about 99% of what he says. He even alluded to it tonight, that something that you and I have talked about on this show when everybody was bitching about Mahomes' performance and the offense's performance. It is virtually impossible. And he said it tonight. He said they completely revamped their offensive line, new wide receivers, changed the way Mahomes played, and he overcame it. And he just won another playoff game and won it in a fashion that most people would dream of winning one. So look, man, our team is built for success. I saw Nick Jacobs complain about Orlando Brown tonight when Mahomes got sacked.
I'll be honest with you, JP. I felt like, I don't know. I see where he's coming from, but then I also it's kind of like you got to block in those positions because what if that happened and that was a crucial down the Chiefs needed against the Bills? You got to play your A game. The Chiefs traded a first-round pick. No,
but that was a blitz. That was a blitz situation. He picked up one guy and he couldn't pick up the other. I mean, Noah Gray got put on his back. I mean, Noah Gray's too small to be out there trying to block. Okay, you can't block a defensive lineman when you're that little. And he was out there trying to block. Orlando was trying to block, and somebody got around him. The guy that got around him wasn't the guy that Orlando was on. It was the guy that actually Noah Gray got ran over by. So they could complain about
I'll have to look at the play again, but I see what you're saying.
Do you see what I'm talking about?
I see what you're saying, but I want to look at the play again too to get full context. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, he very rarely makes a mistake, and when he does, it's like everybody's on him, and it's like, damn, man. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you guys noticed tonight, we're the number one offense or defense in points allowed. Right now, the Chiefs are the number one. The last 7 games, the last half of the season put us at the number one defense in points allowed.
That's pretty good.
16.5 points. That was number one.
That's amazing.
By the end of the season. That is going from 31st, dead last, allowing 28.9 points a game to 16 in less than 7 weeks. In 7 weeks. So not even halfway through the season. People really have to touch on that and look at those numbers and say, wow, everybody that down Spags, that's a hell of a feat to be able to do something that quickly.
But JP, that's when you play the right players.
You're right. I agree.
That's when you play the right players.
A lot of it's experimental too, though, man. I mean, you got to find out who can play, and you got to give them more than one opportunity to do it. That's, and that's no different than what we see with Josh Gordon. He gets one opportunity, he drops the ball, he's on the sidelines. Then he's inactive. Then he gets one opportunity. It's a horrible pass his way. He doesn't catch it. He's on the sidelines. You got to give them more opportunity to be able to redeem themselves and build up their confidence. You can't build up someone's confidence by telling them, okay, well, you missed that pass. Sorry, you're on the sidelines. I'm going to go and throw in Art Robinson. Okay, you can't do that. You have to let these guys, no different than what they did with CEH, like we talked about before. He fumbles the ball, they go right back to him. Why can't they do that with Josh? I don't understand why they haven't done that with him. It irritates me because I think it's killing his confidence level.
Obviously there's something to it. I don't think Andy is doing it intentionally because he keeps putting him out there game after game. And they haven't really gone to look at anybody else as far as a replacement talent. So,
well, they did once, but it was.
Yeah, they did once. You're correct. Yeah. But, it's just the same way he said, the same thing he said about McCole, that his time's coming. And it took a couple weeks after he said that for it to actually get here. But next thing we know, it was here.
Yeah.
And there will be a Josh Gordon game. It will be at some point. It might not even be this postseason. It might not come until next year. But there'll be a Josh Gordon game because Andy Reid's going to scheme it up and figure it out. And Josh Gordon will have to just make the best of that. And if he still got it, then it'll be his time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, everybody I've talked to that's watched him in practice says he is just as fast, just as elusive, and can run routes just as he did 8 years ago. So I'm not going to down the guy until, I see him in multiple plays that he can't, and I mean plays in series, that he does something that proves me wrong. Until then, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Mm-hmm. But
I see where you're coming from, JP.
He's not a net negative, so it doesn't really hurt us.
No, I mean, he hasn't lost us anything. So he got a touchdown. He's, at least he got that this year, and it'll just move. It'll get, he's relatively young body wise. Mentally, yeah, he's 30, but, or I guess biologically he's 30, but physically he's really young. He's in really good condition. So he's got a lot of life left in him. I mean, look at, what's his name? Amendola. The guy's 37 years old. And he's out there ripping it up. The guy that played for, isn't that his name? The guy that played for New England, the wide receiver.
Yeah, I was playing with the Texans.
Yeah, and he's out there just destroying it.
He was doing really well.
Doing really well, and he's done well all year. And he's played, pretty much every down. He hadn't had a 2-year hiatus. So he's got a lot. He's got, if truth be known, the condition he's in and as intelligent as he is, if they give him an opportunity, he's got a good 5 years left in him. That's simple. It's just going to take some time and progression, and once they get there, they'll get there. But I know Andy's patient, and Andy will give him the time to do it. So
I think JP, when it comes to McCole, he's found what he needs to do in this offense: short, quick, intermediate passes. I mean, that's kind of what he is and what he can really do to help the Chiefs. And I know he can do everyone wants to be the guy that can get the long catch. He can still do that, but his primary game should be the intermediate guy. He should also be taking some runs out of the backfield if possible, in my opinion, too.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
Manufactured touches.
What's that? What'd you say, Thez?
Just manufactured touches.
Yeah. I agree. He's got the ability. He's got the speed. You've seen him cut that corner tonight twice. Came around the corner and he burned everybody. I mean, they thought they had the line on him, and he broke their ankles. So I give him all the credit in the world for especially the last 2 games. He's done a phenomenal job. 3 games really. He's done a great job. So all the talk and the chatter. And by the way, Brandon put out those stats. His drop percentage this year, last year was 14%. This year's 2.9.
Pretty good.
So 2.9% is this year though. So for everybody that bitched and complained about him this year, his drop percentage is 2.9. And his receptions are higher than they were, or just as much as they were last year. Or targets, I should say. So it's all a matter of, that's where the negativity comes in. Nobody complains about Tyreek when he drops one. Nobody complains about Kelsey when he drops one. But boy, they will hammer on Hardman when he does. And his drop rate's actually less than Tyreek right now. Although Tyreek's had 100 and, during the regular season, he had 111 targets or reception, or was it targets or receptions? I can't remember.
Probably targets.
No, I think
but actually, it might be reception actually, because I think Tyreek Hill's pretty high.
Yeah, it was receptions, which he was like, I think it was number 3 in the league for receptions. So that's pretty strong, no matter how you look at it. And then again, Travis Kelce with another one of his stellar, phenomenal years. And look, people could say he slowed down when he took off running tonight. And when I watched him in that last game, when he had 189 yards, when he gets in the open field, he's pretty damn fast.
He's moving. Kelce is moving like nobody's business. He is not going down.
No. So he's smart to go down when he does, because that's just going to, that's longevity. You don't see him sitting on the bench every year like you have Gronk for the last 6 years. You don't see him on the bench like you've seen Kettle for the last 3 or 4 years. So Kelce is doing exactly what he needs to do to extend his career and still be the most productive tight end in football. And that's exactly what he's doing. So hats off to him. You guys want to get into one other game today?
Yeah, that's fine.
Let's talk about that San Francisco game.
Hey, the 49ers are going to make a run in the NFC. I'm telling you right now. They have the team. They have the facilities. They have everything. The 49ers are kind of like the Chiefs when it comes to a model organization.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I think they've got it, man. I mean, as much as they didn't look like it there for a while, just like we didn't look like it for a while, they've come on strong. And again, they shut down a team that everybody thought was going to go to the Super Bowl this year, and they shut them down. So, at one point they were the number 1 offense in the league, and they got shut down again. So we shut them down, and then they got shut down by the 49ers. And I think that was Dak made some terrible decisions in that game. I don't know how many people watched it, but oh my God. Some of the things he did, that especially at the end of the game, I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, I'm like, why did you do that? Like, I understand you're trying to run up the middle, but it was kind of like I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you another
Could he
thing
have
too,
thrown the
though.
ball out of bounds like backwards though? Would it have counted if he did that?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
I think it would have been better to do that because, yeah, he got up the middle. It was kind of like, bro. I mean, there's nothing we can really do. So,
Well, did you notice that uh, when the game ended, I can't blame him for what he did because the clock was running and there was no one there to place the ball. Where the hell did the line judge go or the referee go that's supposed to place the ball? The guy ran 30 yards upfield to place the ball, and Dak was just trying to get a play off before the clock ran out. At least spike the ball. And then the ref dives in, pushes a lineman out of the way, and resets the ball and lets the clock hit 0 and then calls the game.
yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I see where the Cowboys fans are coming from, but you guys got to do something about Jerry Jones. He's costing you guys.
He is.
Jerry is costing you guys when it comes to doing good as a team. He's not going to step down, but he's honestly, I know he loves the Cowboys, but he's hindering the team. He is causing them to struggle, and I mean struggle.
Yeah, he's slipping.
Yeah, I don't blame Jerry Jones. I think that, as I was talking to somebody about this tonight. I've never been a believer in Mike McCarthy.
Oh yeah,
no, he's done.
He was just a coach to be basically for Jerry.
Yes,
he speaks through Jerry. Yeah, that's basically yeah. What JP's just said.
I'm not. And don't get me wrong. That's not saying he doesn't add value because he does. He's definitely. I would say he's better than the offensive.
Garrett. Jason Garrett. Anybody was better than Jason Garrett, but.
Yeah, but the cat Sir claps a lot. I'm not really. I never really was a fan of him either.
Yeah,
but I don't think. I think Mike McCarthy I think Mike McCarthy needs other world talent. While Dak is really, really good, he's not on the level that Mike McCarthy needs from his quarterback to do the things that Mike McCarthy wants to do. And I think that he wants that from him, but can't get it, and he's disappointed about it.
That's where you're coming from.
Yeah.
And that's all. That's I don't think Mike McCarthy is a bum. I just don't have any true belief in him. And when he went to the Cowboys, I just felt like it was actually a microcosm of what's already going on down there. That's all.
They just wanted someone that would speak basically someone Jerry Jones could speak through. I mean, that's kind of what he wanted. He might as well just consider himself the head coach because that's what he's been doing for the last couple since he's started. And there's a reason why they haven't gotten back anywhere. So, I mean,
and
I don't know.
I do believe they'll be looking for a new offensive coordinator by next year.
Mm-hmm. I don't think Mike McCarthy's done this year.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I think you're referring to Kellen Moore, right?
I'm talking about Kellen Moore.
I'm talking about Mike McCarthy. I think he's done this year.
Really?
Yep. I got a weird feeling. I don't know, man. I just
really.
It's possible.
I got a strange feeling he's through.
And if it's possible, if that's something if that's something Jerry Jones wants to do, then I don't mean to branch this further out and do another branch to this tree or whatever, but who else is there to get?
Nobody, because all it is a bunch of recycled shit. And that's the problem with the NFL right now. They're just recycling shit.
But there's only
it's like a sewer
one
line.
name that would fit a brand as big as the Cowboys that could probably help them win. There's only one name.
Is it Belichick?
No.
Okay. Who is it?
Michigan's head coach, Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. He's going to have a hard time.
I can see that, but he's going to want power, and Jerry's not going to give that up.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. That's the problem. Because anybody else comes in there. I mean, I'm trying to think of anybody else who I would think that could handle that situation in the manner that it needs to be handled. And even then, Jim Harbaugh, like back when Jim Harbaugh was coaching, he benched a starter to start. He benched Alex Smith
Yeah.
You did.
And granted that there was an injury involved, I get that, but he benched him for Colin Kaepernick. And with Jerry paying these guys, with Jerry paying these guys, he wants them to perform for sure.
Yeah, he's going to have a hard time getting Harbaugh, that's for sure, because I can tell you Harbaugh is he's not a yes man, and he's definitely not going to put up with that shit Jerry Jones puts out.
It will be his way or the highway.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out a guy who would embody or who would be that guy to bring the Cowboys back to prominence, and that's the only guy I can think of. Granted, he's not a yes man Cowboys guy, but he is a good head coach. That's all I'm trying to say.
You know who I think's a good head coach and doesn't get the recognition, and probably if he is allowed to coach and left alone, would be able to do two. There's actually two. Our old the one that was with the Philadelphia.
Peterson,
but he's not a yes man. That was proven in Philadelphia. And the other one is Flores.
Yeah,
I knew you were going to say Flores.
Flores is a good coach. The Dolphins just don't even know what they're doing, and we already explained that before. But that game, yeah, they don't know what they're doing. And if he goes to the Giants and somehow gets Deshaun Watson to land there, I'm telling you right now, the Giants will win that NFC East.
Oh, we should really be shaking in our boots because I feel like if the if the Denver Broncos knew what they were doing, they would pick up Brian Flores.
But they're actually going for Zimmerman. They say from what I heard, he's the front runner.
What?
Yep.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
That's when I say my famous line: recycled shit. All they're doing is recycling old coaches that haven't done anything anywhere else. Stop it. End it. Get rid of it. You only have very few coaches that are older that are actually that change with the times. Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, those guys change with the times. You don't see that shit with the Zimmermans of the world. They want to stick with their old ways, their old mindsets, and they get nowhere. He is not head coach material anymore. 20 years ago? Yes, not now.
The Denver Broncos are exactly where Miami was when they first brought in Brian Flores.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that they wanted to draft who they wanted to draft at quarterback. This is a clean slate. And if Flores could he has a guy like Pat Surtain Jr. Is it Pat Surtain?
Yeah, Pat Surtain's on their team.
Yeah.
He's got a decent defense. It's not otherworldly, but it's decent.
It's something.
And then couple that with your draft pick this year, plus you got to find a quarterback, which isn't a great year. You bring in Brian Flores. Maybe as long as you get a good offensive coordinator, maybe you could bring Russell Wilson in or something like that. And I'm speaking as a Chiefs fan here. Like, really? This should be a no-brainer in my opinion. A defensive guy that knows what defense can do. All right. He's had nothing but winning seasons as a head coach. I think it's a home run in my opinion, but hey, what do I know?
Yeah. The problem is that, again, by the time, from what I understand, by March 1st, Denver's going to be sold anyway. The organization's going to be sold. Yeah. So now you're looking at a different situation altogether. You don't know who's coming in. You don't know who's going to buy it. I think they know, but they haven't announced who it is. And when that time comes, I believe that you're going to see Elway on the way he's out, because he is a minority owner. But when the team sells, he's no longer an owner, and they're not going to keep him around with his fucking ego. Excuse my language. He's destroyed that team since Peyton Manning left. And I get so frustrated watching these coaches just get recycled through the NFL that they prove themselves nowhere, but yet because they did something 15 years ago, they think they can do it now. A great example was John Gruden. Okay, John Gruden been out of the league for how long?
About 10 years.
If not longer, yeah.
Yeah, 10 years or longer, yeah.
Yeah, and
came back and did nothing.
And came back and did absolutely nothing to get the team in trouble, cause a bunch of problems. And his brother, same shit, nothing but problems. You got to get rid of this mindset. You know, the teams that have brought in like the Sean McVays and the guy that's in
Cincinnati
even.
Mm-hmm.
You bring in those younger cats that have a fresh mindset, know the new system, and are not willing to hide from it and have an open mind. They're the ones that are going to get you somewhere.
That's true.
It's that simple, man. I mean, Andy is a rare breed because he changes with the times. He was an innovator 20 years ago. So he's a generational coach because he was an innovator back in the day when no one believed in what he believed in. No one did. Very few coaches believed what Andy believed in, that what was coming down the line, it was going to be an air attack football, and he knew it. And that's why he practiced it so much with Philadelphia, because he knew what was coming down the line. He knew at some point it was going to become an air game. It wasn't going to be just a ground game. It wasn't just going to be defense. It was going to be an air attack game that everybody that you brought in either had to be a damn good wide receiver or a damn good quarterback. And that's all he's ever done. And we look what we've got. I mean, look where we're at. His biggest problem in Philadelphia was he didn't have a Patrick Mahomes, and he had a really shitty fan base and a terrible owner, if you really want to know the truth. And he stuck around and held. Man's got more patience than anybody I know, because I don't know anybody that would have lasted 12 years.
He saw Peterson was like, I'm done. If you're not gonna let me do it, I'm leaving. So yeah, that's kind of how I just won you
a Super Bowl, but you're going to tell me who I can and can't keep, or who I can and can't draft? Please. I mean, it was, nobody would have that. If you got any kind of resume, you have to have some kind of control, and a lot of these owners don't want to give it. Not a lot. There's probably 5 in the league that just want to control every aspect of every move that's made. And most of these owners aren't football guys. That's what people don't understand. They're investors.
Yeah.
What the hell did Dan Snyder ever do in football? Ever? Nothing. He was a billionaire's son. That's what he was. And look where he's at. His wife's running the team, because he did nothing but get him in trouble. Him and Jay Gruden. So they've got to make changes if these teams want to compete, or the owners want to compete on a higher level. They have to make changes within themselves, and they have to make changes within their coaching staffs. It's that simple, because you can't keep recycling the same old junk, because all you're going to get is the same. It's like you're going to get the same result in a different division or in a different team. It's the same thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the definition of insanity. So
I see what you're saying.
That's got to change. I mean, that's why we're doing what we're doing next year. There's going to be some changes with coaching, and anybody that's got an ego, anybody that doesn't want to check it at the door, you don't get in the door. It's that simple. The door's locked on you. And that's what's happened. What's up, Diz? What you got?
I mean, no, I completely agree with you. It's just a lot of things that need, like, with ownership and management and things of that nature. It's just things that need to change.
Yeah.
Like we're talking about Dallas right now, but we haven't even looked at New England and the Bills yet, or anything like that. It's just so much going on. And one thing I do want to say, and if I'm changing subjects, Caleb, if you think I'm changing subjects too quick, let me know.
Oh, you're good, bro. Say what you got. You're good, man. You're not about no one.
Nope.
As much as this week was filled with great games, it pales in comparison to last year. If we want to be on, if I have to be honest, I don't know how you guys feel about that, but this week kind of paled in comparison as far as meaningful play, because we just saw people outmatched. Like, it looked like those extra spots that they put in for the NFC and AFC.
Yep.
It looked like the teams that got in were just overmatched.
They were. They should.
Yeah, the 7 seed is kind of like they're just trying to get some revenue. And I understand maybe in the future, maybe these 7 seed games, 7 versus 2, will be more interesting. But for the most part, it was pretty much a butt whooping.
But if we look at last year, it felt like every single game was super competitive.
That's
Yeah.
true. And I think that'll just vary year to year, though, too. But I see what you're saying, because I think you nailed it right on the head.
Yeah.
It really lived up to the word super wild card weekend. But
Mhm.
this year is a little bit different. And of course, different years are going to bring different things. This being the second year of having 7 playoff teams in each conference, or
Mhm.
7 teams, right?
Yeah,
It's the first year.
7.
This is the
No, it was
second.
last year, too.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
was last year. That's right. It was last year.
And yeah, this being the second year, I just compared it to, and that's one of the things I noticed. But we see teams like the 49ers get in and they beat down Dallas as second seed. I'm looking forward to tomorrow's game, the Rams versus the Cardinals. I'm looking forward to that game because we'll see what the Arizona Cardinals have to offer, because I think J.J. Watt's supposed to be back. I don't know.
Mhm.
But we'll also see what Stafford has to offer with a better team. And
In a playoff scenario. Yeah.
his
He's
first
never seen
playoff
the playoffs.
scenario in like 5-6 years, something like that.
Yep.
So
Yep. Well, and that's the thing. I mean, those two teams are a great example. I mean, okay, I originally thought the Rams would be the team that would take it this year. I thought Stafford he did make a change. They looked really good at the beginning of the season. Their defense still looked really good. It was one of the top 5 defenses in the league. Probably still is, for that matter. They had a lot of injuries. A lot of people went down. They brought people in. They must have like 25 money trees in their backyard, because they just kept bringing more people in after everybody else was trying to borrow money from the bank to pay for these players. These guys are, somehow the Rams just kept bringing people in. And the last one was, of course, OBJ. But I would like to see. I really believe in Kyler Murray. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's got a lot of attributes, and I think he can bring that team to new heights. What are your guys' opinion as far as who wins and loses that game tomorrow? What's your prediction for that game tomorrow?
It's probably gonna end up being. It's gonna be a toss up. I don't know. This game's gonna be a coin flip for me. I really can't pick a team. It's a coin flip for me.
Yeah.
I could see either team winning.
Okay.
Because both teams have some deficiencies, but I can edge more towards the Rams.
Just because of experience?
Experience, and you also have playmakers that can step up. And when it comes to the Cardinals, it's kind of like, yeah, you can do some stuff, but I'm not really confident right now with that team. Honestly, I'm leaning towards Rams, but this game's like a 50-50 coin flip.
What about you, Diz?
for me, believe it or not, I'm a big Sean McVay fan. I think there are some things that he does that is very innovative, and then there's things that he does is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
Um, so you got both sides there, and I just think that he is. I think I like his innovative side, and when he has the players that he wants in situations that he needs, I think he tends to shine pretty good. But I I also am not a big believer in the Arizona Cardinals head coach. Uh, uh,
Kingsbury. Isn't that his name?
what's his name?
What's his name?
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury.
Yeah, old Cliff.
Yeah.
I'm not a big believer in him. I think they loaded his team with talent, and when you got a talent like Kyler Murray at quarterback, I do think that Kyler Murray would eventually. I thought he would be a dark horse MVP for the last 2 years. He hasn't really been. This year we saw glimpses of it, but that he got injured a couple times or whatever. But when it comes to the head coaching matchup, I think that Sean McVay uh, has the edge over Cliff, and I don't think Stafford's going to be much of an upgrade over Goff, but I do believe that there will be a little upgrade over Goff as far as stepping up and Sean McVay being confident in calling specific plays, knowing that Stafford can get it done, as opposed to what Goff did back when they went to the playoffs. So, and plus the defense is really good over there. So,
yeah, I mean, I see Kyler Murray and is a D Hop. They have a really good connection, and you see glimpses of him that just are really kind of Patrick Mahomes in a way. He gets out of the pocket, he throws the ball well. I don't know. I think I could tell you this with this team right now, if Larry Fitzgerald was on that team, even at his age, I would 100% pick Arizona to win that game. And it's not because, and I've always loved Larry Fitzgerald. I've always thought he was a class act. I wish we could have got him when it was up for his contract year. And I thought we were there for a minute, but it didn't happen. But I think he brought an element of surprise, and he still had so much left in him. People they always gravitated towards him. And it seemed like, I think that's the missing piece in Arizona right now is Larry, in their offense anyway. Their defense has been, I guess top 15, top 20. But I don't know, man. It's a tough game to call because a lot of it's going to depend on, again, refs. It's going to depend on Sean McVay is an innovator to a degree, and you're right, he does a lot of dumb things, and then he does a lot of very smart things. So it's difficult. I've never been a big Sean McVay fan. I don't know if it's because of he's almost to a cocky degree, and then also, I think it's more of his cockiness than it is anything else. It's not.
The cockiness is definitely there. Definitely.
Yeah. I think that's the part that bothers me the most about him.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you why I like him, because I don't typically like the super ultra cocky guy.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest with you. When I sit here and see how much these NFL teams swear to value draft picks over proven talent, like I've never understood. I understand it, but then again, I don't. And so
it's a give and take.
Yeah,
I feel like
it is.
I think you're right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
You're good. You're good. But seeing him go against the grain and the GM going along with him because they're lockstep with each other, and seeing it work. Yeah, they got smoked in the Super Bowl and haven't really been the super great team since. But seeing him go against the grain on all those things, and it actually working as far as playoffs is concerned, I like it. I think we put too much value on draft picks and stuff, and then end up seeing how it can work other ways. That's all I like it for.
Well, I tell you one thing, and I'll let Caleb chime in on this because we've talked about this numerous times on the show. You can go after the big name guys all you want. And the one thing that I've noticed that McVay has done, the Rams have done, but McVay's been really big on, is he will throw all of his eggs, every dollar he's got, into going to a Super Bowl for 1 year. Whether he wins or loses, he's done for 2 or 3 years until he's able to build that cap money back up, get rid of all those players that he signed. And then he brings in some younger talent, but yet he also brings in, again, the older talent that he pays too much for that sometimes don't produce. A lot of times when you run into a situation, that's why we're so lucky, because Veach is able to find those diamonds in the rough in the draft pick, undrafted free agents, guys that are on practice squads that may have not worked out with other teams, but he knows they'll fit within our system because he's got the brains to figure that out. Andy has the brains to figure that out. He can see it. They both can. I don't think Sean can see that. I think what he sees is the more big names I have on my team, the more money I spend, the better chance I have of going to the Super Bowl. And then when it doesn't work out for him.
And I feel like he's coming from that young school kind of where I'm at, where you're going to need some stars. I'm going to trade the draft picks to get you, because I know you're going to help us out a lot. So I see where he's coming from that perspective. I mean, he's always had some fairly good teams. So I think coming from that, they've done good, but I agree with this. When it comes to Chiefs, there have been a couple times where it's kind of like hindsight's 2020, but it's like if we would have used that pick on someone else or maybe trade, we could have got something better. But at the end of the day, I trust Spags. Sorry, I trust Veach because he has proven to get us a lot of good players that can help us. And I think looking towards that, that makes me feel very comfortable about this team moving forward.
Well, I don't know how many teams. I mean, I'd have to go and really do some hardcore research. I don't know many teams that have brought in guys out of the draft, and they were instant starters, and then also not just starters but stars instantly. And Veach has done that more times than in 4 years than I've seen teams do or GMs or entire teams do in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's the difference I see with Veach versus other GMs and head coaches, Veach and Andy, I guess, combined, because they seem to be able to find those diamonds in the rough, and they pick those guys that are hungry, that go undrafted, that, from these, like Caleb says, like this, the Southern Belt and all these schools that you would never expect. They'd never expected to be, called up to the combine or even considered by an NFL team. But yet when they are, they're the hungriest guys on the field. Darrell Williams, undrafted. We've got 3-4 undrafted guys on our team right now.
Man, we got so many undrafted guys. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
They're quality starters, and I
They
think
are.
probably Thiz would probably agree with me. But we got all these guys that can play. Go ahead, Thiz.
I agree. I agree with you. Not to mention, I do want to make mention tonight, real quickly. Don't want to change subject, but
No, you're good, man.
Mike Dana got his tonight, and
Yeah,
I'm really. Dana got his. Wharton got his. It was a good night tonight. So
Wharton is, every time he's on the field, he seems to do something positive. Dana is
absentee.
Yeah, and look, Dana, another guy that, when he had to fill in, he filled in well. When he's on the field, he always makes a positive impact. It's those are the guys that you look for, and or Veach looks for, and he says, "Wow, these are the guys that can fit within our system. They don't have an ego; they just want to play, and they'll come out, and they're young guys, so they can play for years to come. It's not like we got the oldest guy on our team is Travis Kelce.
He's moving like he's 22.
Yeah, and he's still moving very well. Him and Melvin Ingram are the two oldest guys on the team. They're both 30. Or no, Travis Kelce is actually 31. But
excuse me.
But they're both playing well under their age.
Mm-hmm.
So Melvin Ingram's had a resurgence. I'm sorry, but this guy, he's playing better than he did with the Chargers. He looks just so comfortable, and he's so happy with this team.
It's surprising, isn't it?
It is.
It is.
I expected him to be a difference maker, but I expected him to be more on a second, third down level, take a few plays off, just to save him, because he's been quite injured over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But dude, he's playing over 90%. Well, I want to say over 90% of most
Definitely
of this
over.
thing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, wow, I didn't even know this guy existed. This version of version of him, I just didn't think it existed anymore, because he's an older guy.
That's true.
And we saw him often injured in LA. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with anything else. It's just me thinking that his better years were behind him because of the injuries. But man, that's a great thing.
Yeah, he's done some phenomenal things. I mean,
and we're fortunate if Denver was smart, they would have went for him.
Yeah.
But, very happy the Chiefs decided to do what they were going to do and get him back, which I always said that was a misstep for Veach at first. But now that I look back on it, I mean, you can look at it from both aspects. Maybe it was just saving him for when he got here, because he didn't play much in Pittsburgh.
Well,
So-
the biggest problem was when we didn't sign him is that he didn't pass the eye test for the Chiefs. He still wasn't 100% healthy, and Veach wasn't going to – he basically offered him the same amount of money with incentives. And it was a minimum amount of games played, minimum amount of snaps, and then also performance incentives and, playoff incentives and things of that nature. But when the virtual workout came, that offer was made prior to the workout, and he didn't look his best. Pittsburgh took a chance on him. They told him that he was going to be starting as soon as he was, able to. He was able to 2.5, 3 weeks into the season, and they basically put him on special teams or had him on the bench. He was in, at one point they said he played pretty much the entire time, 12% of the snaps, the entire time he was there. So Veach did the right thing at the beginning of the season or in the off season by not signing him, because you don't want to take a chance and put that money out when it could be used elsewhere on a what if, on a 30-year-old what if. But then you find out after the fact, okay, I got him cheaper. I gave up a 6th round. So what? But look what he's done to, he's changed our defense.
That is true.
So I think it was a very smart move on Veach's part. I mean, they're very, very frugal when it comes to workouts. And if they don't look like they're 100%, they're not going to put money into them right off the bat. Now, if it's a rookie or undrafted guy that they can stick on the practice squad and let him heal and learn, that's a different story. But when you're talking about a 30-year-old player that has had injuries and was injured when he came in for the workout or virtual workout, no, he's not going to take that chance then. But he made sure he got him when he was ready, and he did it. Yeah. And he paid less money for him.
That is very true, man.
Down to it, he paid less money for him. So I think he got him for 1.6 million versus
some cheap.
Yeah,
all we had to do was give him a 6th-round pick.
Yeah, and a 6th-round pick compared to $4 million on a what if, so or $3.5 million or whatever it ended up being with incentives. So he did the right thing, and it's helped us tremendously going forward into the playoffs. Well, from really since he signed on, it changed our defense for the better, and it just gets better every week. When Thornhill's on the field, everything is different. That is proven tonight. No one can ever change my mind. I don't care who you are. Thornhill, when he starts in that position, along with Melvin Ingram where he's at, it changes the entire defensive play. Everybody's motivated to play. Everybody gels well. Willie Gay was hitting like a madman. L'Jarius Sneed was out there putting smackdowns on people. It was one after another after another. And you've seen when Thornhill or when Sorensen was out there towards the end, you've seen what happened. I mean, I'm not slamming Sorensen because of anything other than the fact that he shouldn't be playing those positions. He shouldn't be starting, and I don't think he's going to the rest of the season. So, or the rest of the playoffs. I think you're going to see Thornhill starting the rest of the playoffs. And if he doesn't, Spags really has got there's a mental lapse somewhere. Because if he can't see it now, then he never will. I'm sorry. But hey, Caleb, do we have any questions?
Yeah, let me pull them real quick.
Okay.
We only had 3 of them, but one was from the same person. The first one is Chris Jones okay? JP, I figured you probably want to answer that.
Yeah, he's fine. He went in through I think I tweeted it out, but he went into concussion protocol and he passed it. He cleared it, so he's fine.
Awesome.
There's nothing wrong with him. He'll be in there next week.
Mm-hmm.
They just kept him out for precautionary reasons.
Okay, because I saw he came back in too, and I figured he was fine.
Yeah, he had a headache.
That's good though. That's good though. He didn't have a concussion. That's really good.
No, he cleared it, so he's fine.
Mm-hmm. That's good. The next question is from Luke. He had 2 questions. His first one: how long before BV signs a 1 to 2 year contract? I'm not for sure who BV is. BV, do you guys know who that is?
The only BV I know is Brett Veach.
And maybe he's already. If that is your question, then Brett Veach is already locked up with Andy for the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, unless he accidentally hit the wrong it came out wrong on the keys. But if it's
Yeah,
Brett Veach,
I'm
he's
not
here
for sure about that one.
Yeah, he just signed an extension. If you're talking about Brett Veach, and he's here for another. Well, I think he's here for it's a total
another
of 6 years.
Yeah, he's here with Andy, which is a really good. And then the second part of his question is: our defense looks solid, although Pittsburgh doesn't scare anyone. What were the snap counts for our linebackers and safeties? I haven't seen that yet. I imagine that's going to probably be out in another hour, but most likely for everyone else, when they see it's going to be tomorrow morning about 7 or 8 CT time. Would you agree with that, JP?
I would, yeah. Yeah, I
Okay.
would say it'd be out tomorrow morning, somewhere around 8 o'clock CT time, maybe 9 at the latest. So.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yep.
That's all the questions we had for this time around.
Awesome.
Before we go, just what are your guys' quick thoughts before we play Buffalo? I mean, last time they embarrassed us in their home. I mean, at our home. You think we're going to return the favor and embarrass them at our home?
I do. What do you think, Thiz? I don't know if it's going to be an embarrassment, but I think we're going to beat them. And I think we're going to try and embarrass them. That's my opinion.
I think the last thing you want on your docket is a motivated Patrick Mahomes. And I did tag you all in the tweet that we talked about off air.
Okay.
Let me see that.
But the last thing you want is a motivated Patrick Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
And coupled with that in-season loss that we had, and they put it on us. No doubt about that. Coupled with that, and now we got a running game. Oh no.
We coming out.
I think it's time to show who the real AFC champions are. They'll have something for us. I do not doubt that on any level.
It's gonna be a tough game.
I do think Andy Reid has that section of that Waffle House menu prepared for his old protege and McDermott.
Yep, McDermott.
Yeah, McDermott. So I look forward to this next game.
Well, I'll tell you this: if his little message trying to tell the world that they're here, well, our message to you is we never left.
We've been here.
So, hey, more power to you. I'm glad you're here because we didn't leave. We didn't go in damn place. So if you want to start calling people out, that's the worst mistake you can make because now you done pissed off Mahomes.
I already tell you right now, JP and Thiz, the Chiefs are going to get disrespected this week. Count on a Monday morning. We're going to get disrespected all week. All week we're going to be disrespected.
Well, I sent Michael Irvin a message.
Ryan Clark, I'm looking at you.
Yep. Yeah. Ryan Clark, Michael Irvin. I actually sent Michael Irvin a message tonight. I said, so where's that? I said, did you say 324 yards for Benz or did you say 34 yards? I said, which one was it? And he didn't reply back, of course, but he called out Big Ben was going to throw for, I think, 300 yards or something stupid. And he threw for 128. So we gave him a few extra yards at the end, and that's fine. I mean, he deserved it. It's his going out party, and it was his retirement party. No matter how you look at it, it was his retirement party. He's not coming back. That team is going to get a revamp next year. I don't know who. Rudolph's not the answer. I don't know what they're going to do for a quarterback. By the way, the quarterback draft class this year is not strong. So
they're going to have to find a 1-year replacement filler.
That's what they're going to have to do. Unless somebody comes out early, this class right now does not look nowhere near.
I mean, that guy Kenny Pickett would probably maybe work, but I mean, you never know. It's be interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. There's just not a lot of there's not a lot of pickings in the quarterback position out of college right now. So compared to years past,
that's true.
So we're going to have to see what he decides to do. Mike Tomlin, and hey, look, Tomlin's always got a plan. The guy's not dumb. He's been a coach for a long time for a reason. The guy has never had a losing record in a season, if I'm not mistaken.
Nope, never has had a losing record.
Yeah, and so there's a reason behind that. So he'll figure it out and he'll get it right. It just is what it is. He did the right thing for Ben. I'm going to say that because not too many coaches would have allowed an aging quarterback in pain to play throughout the season, even if it was a detriment to the team. And that says a lot about the ownership, and it says a lot about Mike Tomlin, because, and honestly, he lost my respect when he called Andy Reid a fat ass a couple of years back in 17. He pissed me off. And that was when AB recorded it in the locker room. But I gain respect for him for doing that. He did the right thing for Ben, and regardless of what people want to say about Big Ben, he's redeemed himself. He deserved a second chance. Yeah, he may have been an idiot when he was a kid. He may have done a lot of dumb things. He admitted that he had an issue with alcohol and pornography. So at least the man admitted it and went got help for it. He's done right by his family. He's a great husband and a great father. So my hat's off to the man. He's going to go to Canton.
Oh, he'll be in the Hall of Fame for sure.
Yeah. So it is what it is. So as much as I didn't like him when he was kicking our ass, you can't blame the man for being good. It just is what it is. He was good. He's just not there anymore. And I think he lost his will, not just his arm, but I think he's just kind of lost his. Everybody says he's the most competitive out there, but I think he lost a little bit of that. And when you lose that, you kind of just lose your will to play.
I think his heart wanted to go longer, but his body wouldn't allow it. And once he came to grips with it, it's like,
yeah,
dang.
Yeah.
Because, I think we've all experienced that.
Yeah.
I know I have.
Yep.
Personally. And when you try to push yourself to those limits, especially in your older age, that's never going to be a good thing for you.
And even when you do it when you're younger, man, I mean, you push yourself when you're younger, you pay for it when you're older. I'm paying for it now. I mean, it hit me about 45 years old. Everything started going downhill. Muscle pains, everything hurt. Every joint hurts. Everything I ever broke hurts.
I'm not super old. I'm like 35, or actually I'm older than that. But I have bad knee problems, man. That stopped me from doing a lot of sports when I was in high school or whatever. Yeah. And so I know the feeling of hanging something up before you think you've even got started. Yeah. So it's just one of those things. He came to grips with it, and it's like feeling your body not being able to do what it used to do is a depressing feeling.
It is an extremely depressing feeling. I've been through it once at a young age, and now I went through it, when I got injured, and I'm going through it. I went through it when I was 45, and I'm kind of going through it right now. I mean, I'm feeling aches and pains that I honestly never thought I'd feel at this age. But
you could just feel it on a small level, like not being able to eat the same spicy stuff you used to. Hey, I love.
Damn, man, how did you even know that? Honest to God, dude, I can't even eat a freaking taco, dude.
I love chili. I mean, I'm not talking about me personally, but someone might love chili Colorado, which is beef in hot sauce. It's beef. It's a Mexican dish, beef and stewed in hot sauce and chilies. And they might not be able to eat it anymore without taking Mylanta or Beano, so there'll be no gas or whatever. It's just when life when life changes for you, it sucks to adapt. Well, before you adapt, you have to come to grips with it, and that's tough when you get older. When that's the older syndrome takes over.
Very true. Very, very true. When you get heartburn from water, it's time to you're up there.
I didn't know that was possible, but okay.
Oh, it definitely is.
I hope I never get that.
Live on.
Yep, you just got to keep moving forward. That's when you start taking Zantac. And when you're in the aisle at Sam's going, oh, there's 3 boxes of that cheaper. Okay, I'm gonna get that and take that twice a day.
That's an issue, my brother. Push that off as long as possible.
Yeah, well, try your best, brother, because once you get it,
that's
the
goal.
Yeah, I can't eat nothing like I used to eat. So,
oh man,
especially now. But before, man, when it started hitting me, my wife laughed at me because I used to tease her about it, and she's younger than me, and she get heartburn about everything, and I'd say, why do you get heartburn over everything? I don't know. I just do. I don't know what happened. Man, it started happening to me, and she's, look at you, fool. You laughed at me. Now you're getting it. There's some Xantex. Here you go. Have that. So it just happens, man. You know, you got to adapt and come to grips with where you're at and move forward. So with that being said, man, great win. Thought it was going to be a little bit more tougher than it was. Thank God Andy took over. And
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord. Andy took over and called those plays. And EB was out there, you know, lip syncing, and it just ended the streak of hell there for a little bit. So that was a scary first quarter.
It was.
Two series. It was scary. So, but we got it going, and once it was going, I mean, there you are, Mahomes, 5 touchdowns, over 400 yards,
196 yards in the second quarter alone. Almost had 200. I mean, hey, man, the guy's balling. The guy's balling.
So right when it's time to peak, they peak. And the predictions out there right now, Chiefs and Green Bay, I tend to go with that prediction because I don't see the Bucs making it at all. And I can't see anybody beating Green Bay in the NFC right now. So
I can see the 49ers making a run.
I can see the 49ers.
Oh, they can make a run, but I don't know if they can beat them.
Especially.
I think they can, JP.
You think so?
I don't know if
that running game.
I don't know if Bosa has a concussion or not, but if he's out, maybe not. But
Hold
if
on,
he's in,
Packers. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead. My bad. No, my bad. Go ahead. No, my bad. Go ahead.
If Bosa is in and they still got all their guys, they're a tough team to beat. So
yeah.
So do the 49ers play the Packers next week? They might. Are they the 6th seed?
I thought they were you might be right. They might be the 6th seed, but
then they probably will play them.
If they play the 49ers, that's going to be a tough ass game.
I look forward to it.
I still say that Aaron Rodgers is the smartest. You know, he's the guy that can make you look stupid real fast. So
yeah, the 49ers are going to play the Packers. They're the highest seed remaining. They won their game. So yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, that's going to be
a good game. Very great
game right there. Yeah, it just depends on which Garoppolo shows up.
Yep.
And
but even still, I don't even think they're going to put it in his hand with Deebo Samuel running out the backfield like a madman.
Well, that's true too. That's absolutely true. We just have to see how the Green Bay Packers defense holds up.
That's true.
Indeed.
Yep. So, well, anyway.
I appreciate y'all letting me come on again.
No problem,
Thanks.
I know y'all listeners might be tired of listening to me, but I appreciate it.
Hey, man, we love your insight. You need to keep doing it.
Tell you to come on, man.
Yeah, we need your insight, man. Keep coming on.
Yeah, you come on every damn time.
Just because I look tired don't mean I don't want to hear what you say, man. Don't worry.
Man. We're both spent. This day took it out of me, bro. I mean, this week's took it out of me. Going from having COVID to just this day drained me. So I'm just like spent, but hey, it is what it is. By the way, I appreciate everybody that joins in on the spaces. It seems like everybody enjoys them. So we're going to continue to do them. We'll try to do a couple more this week prior to Thursday's game. And we're going to put another giveaway out tomorrow. Actually, we were going to do it today, but just things happened and got tied up with doing other things. But
it'll be Monday. Don't worry.
It'll be out tomorrow.
It will be out Monday.
Definitely. So, and for everybody that's off tomorrow, enjoy your day off. For everybody that's got to work, I'm sorry. And I hope you have a great Monday. Enjoy your week and get prepared because we got a tough team coming in and we got to beat them down. And that's what we just got to look forward to is beating them down. So
that's true.
That's a statement game for us. We put a smack down on Buffalo. There ain't nobody stopping us. So
Buffalo fans are high on the horses right now. So guys, I know there's gonna be some disrespect from the media. Don't let it get you, but save them receipts.
Yep.
Save those receipts.
Hey, there's that thing called all you got to do is screenshot them because I got a lot of them. I got a folder full of them. So you go ahead and you screenshot it. Don't say a word back. Just say good. I hope you know what I always tell them.
Just tell them we will see. That's what I say, everyone. We will see.
We will see. We shall see. Have a great game, and that's how I leave it. Because all they want is interaction and arguments. Let them argue with themselves. They can argue within their own brain, and they'll go nuts doing it. So, that being said. Peace out, everybody, and enjoy your week. Thanks, Thiz, again. And look forward to another great playoff game.
No problem. To see you next time, Chiefs King. Have a good Martin Luther King Day when you guys listen to this show. Thank you.
Peace out.
Yep.